So when I'm thrifting, I am looking for two things. I'm looking for one thing that will be great in my Etsy shop, just in the online space. And then I'm looking for stuff that I think will be great as a physical product in my antique booth. Things I look for in my antique booth are maybe furniture, larger pieces, vintage art that's large that I don't want to ship, stuff for the season, like it's the end of January. So right now I am looking for heavy spring and Easter that's going into my booth. Everything I'm going to show you today is actually going in my Etsy shop, and it should be live there by the time the video drops. First thing I thrifted, I don't know, but having a little booth and being into vintage has just really gotten me into baskets. It's never been like my thing, but I love a good French bread basket. This one was in perfect condition. Another thing when you're thrifting for, especially if you're selling online, just make sure, especially with wicker baskets, that before you buy it, nothing's torn apart, anything like that. If you're buying for yourself, the condition is totally up to you, but if you're selling online, make sure that everything is in excellent condition, and this basket was. So these are like little, like nesting baskets, but they hang. And it was perfect because it wasn't just one. I would have bought it if it was just one, but this actually had the full set of 3, which I think any buyer would love. And this is one of those pieces that I'm like, if it doesn't sell, it's gonna go in my home. Okay, next I picked up this like boho 70s sewing, what are we calling this? Like it's just a sewing holder, caddy, whatever you wanna call it. This one has the metal frame. It's got like a thick embroidery. Look at that. I mean, you can just look at it and tell it's 70s. It's in excellent condition. Nice satin lining. These have done really well for me in the online space, and I get more for them in the online space than I do a booth space, so these are definitely going to my Etsy. So I said vintage art goes to my booth, and most of it does. However, sometimes I find some great art that is small enough to ship. I recently found this Lord's Supper piece. I know that it's old and vintage because number one, we've got this hanger here, but the way that it's constructed is all as one piece. You can tell that this wasn't somebody who just printed it off their computer and put it in. Really great walnut frame. So this one's gonna hit my Etsy shop as well. These actually sell really well in my booth. I love any kind of oval frame. Even if the picture's awful, I'll buy it just for the frame because I love oval frames. I have for years, but I love these little pictures, and I don't even know like a ton about it. I should do more research, but anything that has like the cabin or the castle in the back and it has the swans, these sell really well for me. I actually have one of these in a larger frame in my home. This one's gonna go to my Etsy shop though, because I don't know, I just want to start adding a little bit more art. Something I never pass on. I walked into the thrift and it was really busy. So sometimes you go into the thrift and you're like, why am I even going in? It's so packed out. But I walked right in, and on a shelf that everyone was ignoring were these gorgeous brass candlesticks. These are heavy. Not only do they say brass on the bottom, but they're heavy. I know they're brass. And then I even had this little one. They were priced great and nobody was looking at them. So when you go thrifting, don't feel like if you pull up and it's busy, you're not gonna find anything. You have no idea what other people are shopping for. I'll never pass on authentic hobnail. I love milk glass. In fact, I have some more I'm gonna show you, but this little trinket dish is in just perfect condition, and I just love this. Anything like original hobnail milk glass, I will always bring home. What I do not see very often are just little old nesting dolls. I haven't done a lot of research on this one, but instead of like getting smaller and smaller, it just has like two little mini people in it. Let me see if I can show you. So here's one little guy. Here's another one. I just thought this was so different and fun, and I don't know. I probably will put this online as well. I don't like to put things like this that are too small in my booth because unfortunately, if you have a physical location, small items like this can get shoplifted very easy. So this will go on my Etsy as well. Next, I have this gorgeous Marquee Italian tray with brass lining. This was just thrown at the bottom of a shelf on that busy thrift store day that I went in. And I didn't see it till the second time around because there was so much junk on it. But it was still in excellent condition, and it was like nobody was seeing it. It has the original Marquee sticker on the back. I cleaned it really well. That's another thing when you bring stuff home, try to clean it up as much as you can. This is in gorgeous condition, and I snagged it for a steal. The last two things are glass. This is actually a nice Fire King bowl. Nothing majorly fancy about it, but if it's in good condition, and especially if it's a neutral color, I will pick up Fire King. And my final piece is this gorgeous milk glass bowl. You could use this for fruit in your kitchen. You could use it on your nightstand for your jewelry. You could use it in your entryway for your keys. Or if you're just a milk glass collector, it's so beautiful to collect. The thing I loved about this was the scalloped edging at the bottom. Again, when you're looking, just make sure that if there's something that you love about a piece like scalloped edging, the first thing I'm doing is going around and making sure that there are no chips or dings or anything like that. Because if even just one of them is chipped, it takes away the value. But it's very clean, and that's another thing I look for. No smells, make sure it's clean. Yes, there are things we can clean up, but sometimes there's stuff that's so heavily stained or in bad condition that it's just not really savable. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're like me and you love watching what people thrift and haul, I'm gonna start also doing what sold videos so you can actually see what's selling from my Etsy and what people are paying for it. I will have these up on my Etsy by the time this video posts. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.